Miss Haley. Yeah, just had her bottle. So yummy. Eat. Let's go feed your brother. So my husband, he works in the meat shop on our property, and it's his lunch break. So he asked me to make him a peanut butter and jam and banana wrap for lunch so he could clean out the pens with the tractor on his lunch break. This is life on a small little farm. It's not like we can throw 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at this. That's why sometimes progress takes a lot longer than I would like to see, or you would like to see. But that's his plan, is he's gonna work through his lunch break and do some tractor cleanup. Everything's starting to dry out, but we're gonna scrape this down anyways. My hubby's out of time for his lunch break, so he'll tackle this later. Her shelter's got lots of nice clean straw in there, so it just needs to be scraped out. We're working on it. The flies are icky because of all the manure and stuff out here, but work in progress. I'm just gonna quick check on her udder. Hey, sugar girl. Like, her tail head looks like it's becoming more pronounced. I remember I checked her resistance. So she's got even less resistance now than she did when I checked the other day. All of those things contribute to being close and ready to have a baby. Those teats are definitely more elongated. They might be starting to fill, maybe just a touch, but not quite. She's definitely a little bit snugger than she was before as well. And then this side too, it's definitely not as dimpled, but there's still no waxing. Her milk, when I express it, is still translucent, so it's completely see-through still. It just looks like clear liquid, meaning that, like, I mean, obviously that can change pretty quickly as well, but she's not ready yet. Usually, right, like when they're closer to foaling, it turns opaque. So like if you were to squirt milk into a black container, you would not be able to see through it. So it doesn't even look milky yet. So I would say she's got a little bit to go.
Mom, but this looks like a good spot to start a cleanup.
Yeah, so any of these big sticks right here, okay, we're going to clean them up and we're going to throw them in the big pile over here.
Big stick.
Whoa, that is a big stick. Good job. Okay, go put it in the pile. The cleanup begins. Okay, well, like I've mentioned previously, this was all bush in here. So the big piles of junk, as somewhat people would like to call it, are big piles of deadfall and trees that were knocked down. We tried to save as many of the little spruce trees as we could and some of the nice poplars. But yeah, it looks like a disaster in here because a hoe came in here and kind of mowed down a bunch of trees, and so you got a bunch of sticks, you got a bunch of small logs and big piles of brush that needs to be burned, but because of the drought, we're not allowed to burn them, so they're an eyesore. They get to sit there. Is a horse going to try to climb that? No. Is there a chance that they could hurt themselves on some of the little sticks and stuff, or the roots that are sticking out? It's possible. But they're more likely to, in my opinion, of course, to get themselves stuck in a barbed wire fence. This is real terrain. Yeah, it's rugged, but like the whole place isn't like this. But horses are pretty good about picking their way through stuff like this. You would be incredibly surprised. So we just pulled the horses out last night, and as you can see, I lied. There is actually grass back here that they've been nibbling on in supplementation to their hay, of course. But once we pull all these big sticks, that's the goal right now. Is I'm out here with my little kids and we're piling up all these sticks, and we're gonna actually see how much just comes up on its own without having to seed. We probably will do some sparse seeding anyway just to help it along. But even with the horses out of here, with the moisture we've had, I bet you anything that this grass is going to grow up. So there you go. Yeah, it's a little bit wet, but the horses had different places that they could go. There's no horses back here right now, but as you can see, yeah, we've got eyesores. We've got big piles of brush that is sitting piled up, and we're going to work on picking up all these little sticks. And so that's the job as of right now. We'll see how much we get done. But just blood, sweat, and tears and a lot of hard work, and we'll get it shaped up. following my child around because I let her nap late. So now she has all sorts of energy. It is 7:30 at night, which is usually when we start getting ready for bed. Everybody, all the kids are outside playing because it's a beautiful evening. Stan, my husband, is working with the tractor, cleaning out some pens. I just finished cleaning up supper, which was spaghetti and meat sauce with a variety of different noodles because one child wanted macaroni noodles and the other wanted spaghetti noodles. And of course, I made the mistake of asking them what kind they wanted instead of just picking a kind. So of course, I ended up making them both. Come on. Anyways, I'm gonna pick through some of the evening chores and go check out how Stan is making out with cleaning out the pens back there. But it always feels nice to have the kitchen cleanup done, and I can wake up in the morning and just have a nice clean setup and don't have to be stressed out about the fact that there's dishes everywhere. So that'll be a nice change for once. One thing that you probably have already noticed is that I don't show my kids on here. That is a personal choice that we have made, and I don't think that a massive public platform is a safe place for kids. That's my own opinion. Others obviously choose to show their kids on social media or show their kids on YouTube channels. I want to protect my kids' privacy. They are not old enough to make those decisions for themselves. They don't understand why mommy takes them out or blurs them out or covers their faces on videos. I just explain to them, hey, online there are people that are strangers. Get out of the mud puddle. You're not dressed for that. They don't understand that there's people on the other side of the screen that are strangers, and not all of them have good intentions. It's just that that's a way that I have chosen to protect my kids, and it's not up for discussion. I'm sorry you don't get to enjoy how adorable they are and sweet that they are, but they are young, and their privacy needs to be respected, and so that's why you're not going to really see our kids' faces. You might see little pieces, but that's not what this channel is for. It's not what this channel is about. And so as best as I can, I actually try to avoid showing them on camera. Their privacy is very, very important to me. So I hope you get that too. "30 minutes later, This probably came down 6 to 8 inches in some spots, all by hand. This muzzle right in here hurts. It's very, very sore. I tend to do it all left-handed versus like right-handed. I write with my right hand, but I shovel, hit a baseball, all with my left hand. Anyways, there you have it. Dug down, and I should really weigh each scoop, but each scoop is probably like, at the minimum side of things, 15 pounds, the max side probably 30 pounds. And I'm gonna show you the mound that I got out of here. It's disgusting. Okay, so here's what I scraped down. You can see where the board was wet up until there. And it's mostly peeled back to dirt. I know it looks gross, but that's gonna dry out. It's gonna look much better. And here is the pile of manure beside a yearling Nubian goat. You just saw that I just cleaned that pile out. So that pile was not there before. And now look at it. That thing is nasty. So when I say that was a lot of work, that was a lot of work. I am sweating bullets. Man, oh man. That was not fun. But the tractor can't turn in there because these trees back here, it's just too tight. Obviously these don't help anything. But yeah, so all of this corner has to be dug out by hand, unfortunately, along with the barn, which I will get to that next once I can unscrew this piece of plywood off the front. Like I've mentioned before, this whole barn, like shelter, needs to be renoed a bit so it's a little bit more draft free for the winter time. It was just a bit too chilly for them this winter, so I need to adjust it. All of this stuff needs to be dug out some more as well. We'll just come straight in here with the tractor, scoop it out like we did before, and back it out. I hit some tree roots last time, so that was my bad.
Icky.
You named your caterpillar Icky?
Yeah.
Wow. She's rubbing her head on my butt. Why? Why? You guys are very strange. So while I'm showing you all of the real parts of this farm that's project after project that needs to get finished, I will show you the shed. So this is the shelter slash barn slash kid pen slash milking shed. It needs to be finished up, needs more insulation, and then put plywood on the outside. So this needs to get sealed up better for this winter, especially because I plan to have winter Nubian babies. So we need to have some warm places to kid and warm places to raise those babies. In here we typically put a round bale, and then I pitch off the round bale and feed to them over there. Now, right now it is where the bags of dog food and a little bit of grain is. So that's what that is. And apparently the cat hang out. Hey Spike, you're a good boy. You're a handsome man. This piece of wire was put up because we were having moose problems. So we put the gate on the front to protect the hay bale in here. The moose started jumping this fence into the pen to eat the hay bale over the fence inside the goat pen. Now, you might guess how many issues I may have with that scenario. Number one is that, I'll turn it around so you can see me. Number one is that moose carry parasites and diseases and ticks and lice, and I do not want that in my disease-tested herd, where they could be bringing diseases and parasites and ticks into my goat pen. It's a big, big, big fat no-no. Secondly, if a moose got aggressive, it could easily kill one of my goats. when you're investing in good breeding stock, you do not want to lose a goat to a moose, which is supposed to be wild and browsing and finding its own food, not coming and stealing my hay. Number 3 is that hay is not cheap. So I've had people recommend like, oh, put a hay bale at the edge of your property and feed the moose all winter. And I'm like, you know what that's going to do? It's going to say, hey, all moose in the neighborhood, come, there's hay over here. We actually had to get the conservation officers involved this year because we had such aggressive moose towards us, where I would come outside to do chores at like 8 p.m. or 7 p.m. where it was like just starting to get dark, and they would come at me. They had zero respect for me saying, get out of here, get out of here. And that becomes a problem when you are living in a more condensed area where there's more families and stuff. And so then they're like, of course, they're like, well, okay, you got to fence off all your feed, and here's some blood meal to try to deter them. And what is with you? You're being all lovey, silly girl. So anyways, we had moose problems. Hence the wire is now, the goats tried to eat over top of it when the ground stuff built up, and so we got to fix that too. There's some renos that's got to happen. I would really like a gate there because this is where I feed through. However, with any gate, you're fighting goats that are trying to get out and you're trying to come in. So work in progress. I'm not sure what the best answer is with that. I am not prepared to throw a full bale of hay in for the goats because we do not have the right feeder for that, as well as they waste a lot of feed that way if you don't ration them out. Miss Rose. Anyways, so there's another few projects that need to be done. I need to do some milk shed updates because I don't like how it's set up. So anyways, project after project, there you go. The corner is now cleaned out. That was one more thing off the list. Still have to clean out the shelter and start renoing that. Reno this big pile of randomness here and make some sort of a nice little playground for them. Again, this is all just, I mean, it's probably like 9 o'clock at night now, and we have to get kiddos to bed too. So there you have it. Just a little bit more about the chaos on this little Troyer farm as we figure out what works for us and what doesn't. So tag along, and actually before you sign off, I'm going to show you what's going on in the horse pen because I haven't even seen it yet, but he's been working hard with the tractor, so let's go look. Well, I think the tractor was acting up a little bit, so everything didn't quite get done, but this part is all scraped down and scraped out. Sugar, looks like you got lots of food. My hubby gave her front feet a trim this evening as well. It is kind of getting dark towards evening, so it doesn't look that much different, but I can say that this is definitely a lot better than the way it was. Still got lots of straw in her shelter. I see some manure piles in there, so I'll grab the fork and pitch those out. But this is gonna dry out a little bit better now and hopefully just be like, this is just like dirt and clay. And then next will be to do the other side. The other side isn't as bad because it hasn't been used as much. This was the side that was used most. So it's good to see it cleaned up a lot better. We're going to do some fixing with the wires on the left side here, but just a great start. It's a lot of work. I'm thankful that I have a hubby who's good with the tractor. I can get by, but I can't do a great job. So I'm going to hop in here and take a look at Miss Sugar's udder and see if we're getting any closer yet. Hey girl, you're all covered in hay. You must have been right in the way. Huh? I'm telling you, her fur or hair, whatever you want to call it, is so soft. She's so soft. Can't really see much right now, but he kind of rough trimmed up her front feet again. They look quite a bit better. We'll see if it makes a difference or not, but So all we can do is just keep trimming away the yucky stuff, and hopefully we see improvement. I'm probably going to need my flashlight for this. Well, I don't think that tonight is the night. I think those teats still need to fill some more, but the other side looks like it's fuller. I'll have to check. I'll see if she'll let me do a squirt quick for you. Yeah, I don't want you to kick me. Easy, girl. Still looked pretty clear. Her top side, obviously I've been checking it. I don't feel like there's much point because she's very, very jiggly. We did the tail resistance check. She's got no resistance whatsoever. Check this other side. Yeah, this is starting to fill. Easy, girl. I know you're getting frustrated with me looking. Yeah, I would not be surprised if this weekend were to happen. Yeah, so it's still pretty clear. Hey, girl. Sorry, I know you don't like that, but we want to be prepared. Hopefully we can get this baby weight off of her soon and she can get to be more comfortable. Then we've got good old faithful Duke. Well, good old faithful. He's actually only green broke, so he's not all that faithful. But he and Raven were auction buddies, so they were in the same trailer on the way home, and they kind of bonded. Oops, that's not really good. So Duke and Raven kind of bonded in the trailer on the way home from the auction that we picked them up from in December. With him, we didn't really have much history at all. We kind of had seen them in the pens, and actually we hadn't even seen Raven in the pens. But when she came through, she went for quite a low price in terms of like broke horses go. And my husband was actually sitting kind of behind me, and I was sitting closer with the kiddos just because they were getting bored and antsy. So I was trying to change up the scenery. And I saw her come in, and I kind of gave him the look, and I was like, oh, she looks sweet being ridden through. You could tell she'd seen some miles. Her back end looked like it might be a bit stiff. And so the bidding was pretty slow. There wasn't a ton of interest. And all of a sudden it was like sold. And then I like turned around, and my husband's face is beet red. He's holding up his bidding card, and he's like, she's gonna be the perfect little kid's horse. I was like, okay. So that was how that happened. And then Duke was actually a bit of a miscommunication. It was actually kind of hilarious where I was like, stop bidding, and he thought like that I was saying to like keep bidding. Again, in an auction, do not sit apart from your spouse if you're trying to make decisions together. It's fine. It all ended up okay. But we're happy that we got to bring them home. We're just really hopeful we can get Raven to turn around with her knee injury there. Hopefully she can recover quickly. She's a beautiful mare. She's got her little vices here and there, but overall she's pretty good with the kids. Obviously she's not being used or ridden right now because she's not sound. But we're really, really hoping that once she recovers that we can use her for a few more years and just love on her and give her a good retirement home. That's the goal. We're just really hoping that she comes around and recovers really well. And Sugar, we'll probably leave that conversation for another time, but right now the goal is to just keep up with her feet maintenance and just hopefully have a safe delivery of that little baby that she's carrying in there, and then just see how much that affects her soundness, see how much that affects her pain levels, and just see what we can do for her. Anyways, I'm gonna finish up a few things and then I'm gonna call it a night. So thanks for joining me on Little Troyer Farm YouTube channel, and I will see you on another video. If you feel so inclined, I would love to get to know you guys a little bit more. So even if you drop like roughly where you're from in the world. And I would love to just be able to interact with you and get to know you guys as a audience. I'm not sure if that's the right word, I guess. That seems like a really weird term to use. However, I'm really thankful that you guys are here and you guys are tuning in and excited about all of the stuff that's happening on this little farm. And we will keep you tuned in to the changes with Sugar, and hopefully we see a baby soon. We're starting to feel very impatient. My husband's in shock that she's held out this long, but I think it probably won't be that long yet. She hasn't started waxing yet, so that's kind of the telltale sign. But I doubt that it'll be longer than a week. I don't know. You can mark my words on that one. So we'll see. All right. See you next time.